I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. You get a roll call, please.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Here.
Mr. Biondo?
Here.
Mr. DiGiulio? Mr. Ludston?
Here.
Mrs. Paletti?
Here.
Mr. Asivich?
Here.
Mr. Stoffel?
Here.
The quorum has been established. A public hearing, tax levy for the 2018 law. Illinois law required that a public hearing be held prior to the adoption of the certificate of tax levy in the taxing body in requesting 105% or more from its prior year. Within the time frame established by the Board of Education, guests wishing to address the board regarding the proposed 2018 tax levy will be given the opportunity to do so at this time. Would anyone like to address the board about the tax levy? Adam? No? The record note there's no participation. I'd like to adjourn the tax levy hearing. Discussion. I need a motion. Discussion. Motion to approve the 2018 tax levy resolution.
I'll motion. I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ludston?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Asivich?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffel?
Yes.
Motion to approve the 2018 tax levy resolution. Discussion. Motion to approve the resolution of tax levy 2018 taxes for certain purposes.
I'll motion. I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ludston?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Asivich?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffel?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Motion to approve the resolution for tax or for levy for 2018 tax for certain purposes. Discussion. Motion to approve the resolution to instruct Cook County Clerk how to appropriate the 2018 tax levy extension reduction.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ludston?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffel?
Yes.
Mr. Asivich?
Yes. Motion approved the resolution of instruction of Cook County how to appropriate the 2018 tax levy extension reduction. Discussion. Motion to approve the certification of compliance within the truth and taxation laws.
I'll motion. Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ludston?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffel?
Yes.
Mr. Asivich?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Motion approved the certification of compliance with truth and taxation law. Public hearing, waiver of administration cost limitation for 2018. Public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Education to waive the limitation on administrative cost within the time frame established by the Board of Education. Guests wishing to address the board regarding the waiving of the limitation of administrative costs will be given a opportunity to do so at this time. Would anyone like to address the public or address the board? With no participation. The adjournment of the public hearing. Action item. Discussion. Need a motion to approve the resolution waiving administrative cost limitation for the 2018-2019 school year. Hold on your motion.
Whereas if a school district that is ineligible to waive the limitation imposed by Section 5/17-1.5C of the Illinois School Code by board action exceeds the limitation solely because of circumstances beyond the control of the district, and the district has exhausted all available and reasonable remedies to comply with the limitation, the school district may request a waiver pursuant to Sections 5/17-1.5D and 2-3.25G of the Illinois School Code.
Need a motion?
I'll make it. Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ludston?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffel?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Asivich?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Motion to approve the resolution waiving administrative cost limitations for the 2018-2019 school year. And please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The mission of Norwich School District 80 is inspiring educational excellence in a nurturing environment.
All the participation. she's looking at.
She's gonna look.
Mr. Trabuzio.
Hold on. Do you want me to go through the?
Yes.
Introduction to public comment. At each regular or special meeting which is open to the public, the Illinois School Code and board policy require that members of the public and the board's employee be afforded time to comment or ask questions. The board's agenda designates this portion of the meeting to recognize those visitors and provide an opportunity for comments or to ask questions. The board asks that speakers identify themselves and limit comments or questions to no more than 5 minutes. The 5 minutes may be shortened if the president must conserve time to give the maximum number of individuals an opportunity to speak. Speakers are reminded to please conduct themselves with respect and civility towards others. The board also requests that speakers refrain from identifying individual students or staff. Speakers who choose to identify specific students or staff do so at their own risk. Please keep in mind that the opportunity to engage in public comment at a school board meeting does not insulate speakers from libel or violations of privacy. Lastly, if someone wishes to present an unresolved complaint to the board requests that you please contact Dr. O'Malley through Ask Dr. O'Malley on the Norwich School District 80 website. Thank you, and the board now looks forward to your comments and questions. Our first public speaker, Frank Trabuzio.
I just wanted to publicly mention this would be the third year I've been researching those 112 Cook County elementary school districts, and in what I researched, now I've discovered District 80 currently holds the 31st highest park score of the 112. But only 2 districts of the 112 spend less per student. Now, as I understand, I may have heard, or it might not be true. Would anyone know? Probably, Dr. O'Malley, is park testing continuing this year, or is Illinois changing it?
My understanding is that the intention is to continue. However, there is litigation that is taking place on the park bid that went out via the State Board of Education.
So my understanding is the questions will be park questions. It's just being adjudicated as to who will be doing it, whether it'll be DRC or, whether they're maintaining. So we'll see. Watch this space.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for public participation.
We got a couple, one piece of correspondence, and then we received 2 FOIAs. Any presentations, Dr. Miller?
No presentations this evening.
We'll go right into the superintendent report.
So a couple things I just want to bring to the board's attention. The first is we will have a board training date that we set with IASB for those individuals who are running for the Board of Education. The date will be in May, and we will post it on our website. This is something that we've done with all new board members in the past, where a representative, Mr. Perry Hill, comes from the IASB, and it's about a 3-hour training that we're allowed to do in closed session. What I will be doing is contacting individuals who intend to run for the board and informing them of that date so that they could put it in their calendar. And the reason we want to do that is setting the date takes a long time because they have very few people working for the IASB, and you have to set it well in advance. And so we've actually set it for May, and I will send that out as well as inform those individuals that are running. The phone system installation will be completed mid-December. So most of the phones have been installed here at Giles, and the classrooms are functional. The teachers can dial 911 and they can dial out. However, AT&T needs to turn the phone number, the main phone line, over to Ring Central. And so that'll be done sometime in mid-December, hopefully before we go into winter break. If not, after winter break, the phones will be fully functioning here. I've been working on the procedures. This is something that has followed the policies. So if you go back in time, our policies were not updated for many, many, many years. All of our policies were updated last year, at the end of last year, going into this school year. The board then made a commitment to make sure all the procedures are completed.
I had a date with Mr. Brian Zump, who is counsel for the IASB, and because of the snow day, we could not have our meeting, so therefore he rescheduled in January. I would encourage the board to go online, and they could look at most of the mandated information that is required under the policies that we've completed. One of those being a workload plan for special education. We've never had that. We just put in place. That was something in 2009, as well as correspondence and memos that are required. So if the board wants, they can go take a look online and they'll get an idea of the progress that we've made. That will not be completed until the end of January. Two issues on the board agenda are procedurally driven. That is part of our procedural process. So as you can see, one of them is on sexual harassment that's supposed to be updated, as well as having a specific amount that the board can access for any professional development, such that if you're attending a conference, you have a limited amount that you can use on an annual basis. What we've done is we looked at districts in our area and we've pretty much tried to match what the other districts are doing. However, that's a board issue. If the board believes that that's what the expense should be, we put $3,000, then we'll stay with the $3,000. It's on an annual basis. Okay, so that resolution is in the agenda, on the agenda.
The board the board has never, since I've been here, there hasn't been nowhere near that amount being spent.
Right. So my understanding, this policy and more specifically this procedure was put in place because there were other boards outside of this district. It's never happened in this district that we're spending quite a bit of money for national conferences, so on and so forth. This board has never had that issue. This board has been very, very good about making sure that they're fulfilling their expectations in professional development, such as OMA, such as the para, as well as some of you have gone above and beyond with your expectations. And so I don't foresee it as being an issue. But I'm making sure that you're compliant because you need to adopt the resolution. Okay? Lastly, the risk assessment and prioritization of issues and concerns. We are going to follow through with the risk assessment that was done at the last board meeting in November. We have a date scheduled with Mr. Mark Fields, Wayne, who's a representative from the Village of Norwich, the Norwich Police Department, as well as administration, and we're going to come up with a prioritization of the risk assessment, keeping in mind two things. Number one, what is the timeline in which we complete the task? And number two, what are the monies that we can allocate to complete the task? This is something that we have not budgeted for in terms of some of the things that the risk assessment is asking for. It could be as simple as signage. It could be as simple as replacing outdoor lights. It could be as simple as, as expensive as applying for cameras that we can actually have upgraded. But keep that in mind because at some point in time I'm going to have the board adopt that list with the prioritization, and I'm hopeful that if not now, in the future, we can allocate some monies, if not access some third parties who can help us to mitigate the risk assessment issues that are listed. So that is my report for today, and I know that Buildings and Ground has a few issues that they're going to report on. That's it.
Have you received an update from the Norwich Educational Foundation on what they're planning on, or if they have any plans, or what their plans are to help out with the safety issues of funding them?
So I discussed with one of the representatives that we would prioritize this list and then share with them the list and see if there are areas that they can fill the gap.
Great.
But what I wanted to do first is sit down and make sure that we are on the same page, whether it's the Norwich Police Department, the school district, as well as the risk assessor, then have the board adopt that list and then move forward with a really solid list that we can start picking away at year over year over year.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Dr. O'Malley? Great, thank you. Going right to board committees, board policy and development. We have our second reading today for the update of the policies. We'll go over that in old business if anyone has any questions.